Javier Canul is known by many Belizeans as the cheerful character Ozzy the Clown. But Canul's time as Ozzy is only a part-time passion. He actually spends most of his days for the past 18 years not as an entertainer, but as a lifesaver.
One day a call came in and a good friend of mine, Dr. John Arana, he's a doctor now, he was the EMT paramedic, the only EMT paramedic in the country, and he asked me if I wanted to do a course with an EMT, and I said, sure, no, why not?
Canul is an emergency medical technician with paramedic training and the current training coordinator for Belize Emergency Response Team, BERT. Originally, he had aspirations of being a doctor, but eventually found his passion in emergency medical services.
EMT is a profession, and the profession comes with a lot of hard work and dedication in terms of studying, in terms of practicing, and we have to remember that we're dealing with people's lives. So the thing about us loading patients in an ambulance and run with them just for that has been years gone. We are now a professional organization, a professional group of people who works for one common cause and doing what we call pre-hospital care. And that pre-hospital care is like us being the doctors in the field to get the patient alive to the hospital, and so the doctors can continue on with the treatment. That is what that is all about. Being an EMT 18 years ago and now we have gotten great strides. I can recall being EMT basic, climbing up the ladder, and we had every level has different scope, and we practice only at an EMTB level. But as time go by and we got other assistance from the US, people came in and started helping us through the Wagner Foundation. I have to mention the Wagners because they were a big factor behind it, looking at what BERT needs and how they can help the organization in terms of stepping up to meet an international standards. And so these 18 years ago, that was just baseline. Today, we have made great strides in several things: public awareness, education, and at that time there was probably about, in the entire country, it was like probably about 30, 50 EMTs. Now I would roughly say we have about 500 EMTs. That's a rough number, which come from broad spectrum of life. This is not a job for me. I can say that it is not a job for me. I say that with a passion. It is actually something that I love to do. If anybody else would want to be an EMT, or if you want a job, just a job, this is not the place for you. If you love helping people and you want to look at something long term and helping people for years to come, then this is where you want to be, because it's not a job. It is working and helping people.
Emergency Medical Services, or EMS, is a service providing out-of-hospital acute care and transport to definitive care. EMTs in Belize are licensed to provide this type of service. They receive refresher trainings at least once a year. They're also trained in defensive driving to weave through traffic to respond to emergencies.
People see the ambulance with the lights, and normally if the road is clear, light stays on. If we have traffic getting in the way, siren goes on. If it's a really critical emergency, then we light siren and everything, and we're going to the hospital. People think that we use these things to have our own way, and it's not so. We might be going to your home. You're in the way in front of us, giving us a hard time, and we're rushing to get to your house. So you need to be alert. You need to pay attention.
Of course, interacting with people in a high-stress moment requires softer skills as well.
You have to have a heart. You have to be empathic. You have to share empathy. You have to be emotional in the sense that I'm emotional, I want to help you, I want you to live. Not emotional in the sense that you break down in front of the patient and I can't help you, or that sort of thing. You need to be aggressive. Aggressive takes you a long way, and you need to make sure that you keep yourself updated. You need to be studying, and learn the good habits of being an EMT, not the bad habits. I can recall shooting where one of my colleagues was running with a baby bleeding out, and they wanted to kill dad, but instead they got the baby. And she ran with that baby into the ambulance, and emotionally it gets to us for these things. We go to a scene, we see brains on the ground, we see intestines drawn out for miles on the road. It's very stressful. How we would deal with that. We'd come back, we'll talk to our colleagues about it. The administration would create a counseling session where if somebody needs counseling, would request it, they provide it.
Canul advises that to cut down on response time, contact emergency services directly, like Bert's landline at 223-3292, as oftentimes there is a delay between third-party calls to police or 911 dispatchers. So with all the challenges, why do you keep doing it 18 years later?
I love it. I really love what I do. I love helping people. I love teaching people. I love meeting people. I love to associate with people. And more than anything else, it's just a passion that keeps me going to help people.